Good evening, folks. Welcome to the next episode of Cooking with Chris. Tonight, I'm going to make a dish called Tortang Talong. Now, this is a dish I was first introduced to by a great friend of mine, Bebe, my best friend Mibi's mom, and I was shown how to make it by a wonderful woman named Marlene in Manila, Philippines. It's a very simple dish. One of my personal favorite Filipino dishes. And we're just going to go ahead and get right into it. So I'll show you first the ingredients. So you can see here, we have a tomato, a red onion, a couple of eggs. I wish I had calamansi, but I don't, so I got a lime. I got some cilantro. And I got the little purple eggplants that I've been steaming. So the first thing we'll do is we'll pull those eggplants out because they need to be peeled, and they've just been steaming in this little bit of water with the lid on the pan for, I don't know, like 7 minutes. And this is what they look like. So you really want to try to get the small purple eggplants, because the big ones won't really work. The stem needs to be attached. I feel like one small eggplant should be almost like a portion. So the next thing we'll do is peel the skin off of the eggplant. Get that so you can see what I'm doing here. So this is actually probably the hardest part of making the dish. It's not hard, it's just a bit of a pain to get the skin off. But this one seems to be peeling right off. It's just super duper hot. So I gotta make sure I don't burn my hand in the process. And you know, if you don't get it all off, you leave a little bit on, that's okay. Usually you would do this, you would grill it over a flame, kind of like making roasted red peppers. And we all know when we make roasted red peppers, we do sometimes leave little bits of black skin on. And it almost adds character to the roasted red pepper. In the same way, if you miss a little piece of skin, it's not going to matter. Some people leave the skin on too. I was unable to grill these because I don't have a grill, and I also don't have a fire on my stove. I have an electric stove. So I steamed them. There's a number of different ways to cook the eggplant. The important thing is you get the skin off, or most of the skin off. And I think traditionally it's often grilled, and that adds a nice smoky flavor to it. But I can assure you it tastes just as delicious if you steam it. So the next step, after we get this peeled, and I'm almost done here. I'm going to leave a little bit on this one. Skin seems to be a bit more attached on the smaller one. Alright. So now the next step, get rid of the eggplant skins. We're just going to, this is what it looks like skinned. Now we're just going to take a fork and sort of mush the body of the eggplant down, but keeping it attached to the stem. And that's what that looks like. And you really don't have to push down too hard with the fork because it's very soft from being cooked. And same thing with the other one. Next step, we'll take a couple of eggs, crack them into a bowl. So when I think of Tortang Talong, For me, it's almost like an eggplant franchise, if you will. It's sort of the same cooking method that you would do to make a chicken franchise or any other kind of franchise. So you put the eggs in there, you mix them up, and then just season it a little bit. I'm going to add a bit of salt, a little bit of granulated black pepper, and probably not a lot of Filipinos add cheese to their egg mixture. I'm going to add a little bit of Romano cheese to it just for some extra flavor. Now, it's important to know that there's a lot of different ways to make Tortang Talong. Some people add meat, some people add fish, some people add vegetables to the mixture. Mostly when I get it on the streets of Manila, it just comes sort of vegetarian style with the egg batter over it, and then it's usually served the way I'm going to serve it with diced onion and tomato. I often will get one of these when I pick up some barbecue at Ineg's, and I've also had it served in this manner other times. So you can add all kinds of things to it. Some people even put canned tuna on top. Some people use sardines. And a very popular way to make it is with ground pork and some other vegetables and herbs. But I'm just going to do it with the eggs. So I have my mixture ready. I'm going to get my pan nice and hot. And in the meantime, I'll put the eggplant into the egg mixture and get it all nice and covered with the egg mixture. And since we have a little time waiting for the pan to get nice and hot, I will chop up some of the onion that we're going to use to garnish it after we're done cooking it. So we'll just peel that onion, cut it in half. Now I want you to see how I chop this onion, because a lot of people work too hard when they're chopping onions. They cut into the onion like this, but they feel like they also need to cut into the onion this way. And if you cut along the natural curve of the onion, there's natural round layers that enable it. So if you're just dicing an onion not too fine, you don't have to do that. So we don't need a lot, just a little bit more for garnish. No, it's actually for flavor too. I think the raw onion adds a nice flavor and texture to the dish. So we have our onion cut up. Pan is just about ready. And we'll add a little olive oil to the pan. And we'll take our eggplants, all covered up in the egg mixture, and we'll add one to the oil, and then we'll add the other one to the oil, and then let it cook for a moment. I'll give you a look at what that looks like. So you can see there that it actually does sort of resemble a franchise in the way it's being cooked. And I'll show you that again in a moment. So I like mine to be kind of eggy. So I still have some egg in this mixing bowl. I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit on this side of it. So it's really covered in egg nice. So Tortang Talong, I believe the translation, Tortang is eggplant. Talong means omelet. So this is a popular breakfast, lunch, and snack dish in the Philippines, and it means eggplant omelet. And I tell you, it's very delicious. I love eating this dish. So the pan's nice and hot. It really shouldn't take too long to cook, but while it's cooking, we'll dice up our tomato. So again, so you can see what I'm doing, I'll tilt the camera a bit. And we'll just cut out the core of the tomato because we don't want that bit. And a couple thick slices. And again, it's going to be used to garnish, add color, texture, and a little bit of flavor to the Tortang Talong dish. I also have a little cilantro. I'm going to chop that up a little bit. Also called coriander or Chinese parsley. Alright. So the next step is to flip the pancake. And since you left the stem on, you can easily flip that just like this, using the stem and a pair of tongs. You just flip it over and let the other side cook. So our eggplant omelet will be done in just a minute. And in the meantime, like I said before, if we were in the Philippines, I would have calamansi, and I'd squeeze a bit of calamansi over the top of this for flavor. I don't know that it's really traditionally served with any particular dipping sauce. I've had it with dark soy sauce, and that's nice. But today I'm just going to eat it plain with a little bit of fresh lime. And I'll be thinking about that nice sour, orange, tangy calamansi while I'm squeezing the lime over the top. So at this point, the Tortang Talong is almost done. I'll let you have a look at what that looks like in the pan. That's our Tortang Talong. You can see the eggplant is still attached to the stem, which I think adds a nice aesthetic to the dish. And we'll just, I was gonna say we'll just plate it up, but anytime I cook anything in oil, I like to first sort of dab it on a paper towel to sort of get off some of the excess oil. Because in this day and age, when people are watching their weight and their cholesterol and stuff like that, there's no reason to have any more oil than is necessary. So here is the finished Tortang Talong. It's been dapped off so there's not a lot of excess oil. We'll throw that on the plate. And then we'll add some fresh tomatoes, some chopped red onion, some cilantro, and a little bit of fresh cut lime. You want to squeeze it over the top. And now I'll let you have a look at the finished product. This is my Tortang Talong. As you can see, it's a very beautiful dish, and I assure you, very delicious. You'll enjoy this one. Super easy to make. Something I don't think very many Westerners that haven't been exposed to a lot of Filipino food have ever had this dish. Again, super easy to make, super delicious. We'll give it a little taste. Squeeze a little lime on there. Get some of those toppings going. Oh my God. Masarap. Very delicious. You got to try this one. Super easy to make, super delicious. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all your comments and likes on my last videos. Have a wonderful Monday night, and peace out.